Progressive presents Mindfulness with Flow.
Before you lies a beautiful meadow. In that meadow, Progressive Direct has placed its auto insurance rates alongside those of competitors. You select the lowest rate and feel a great sense of calm. A great sense of...
Compare Progressive Direct rates with competitors' rates so you can rest easy. Visit Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
You're tuned in to Steve Megatron on Altered Geek.
Do you start your day deciding which video game you're gonna play? You fight with your family over which is better, Marvel or DC. The geek of all of your friends, cause you know what Batman beats Superman. This is the right place to be, so turn up the volume cause you're an altered geek. Altered geek. Get altered. Get geeky. Altered geek. From Star Wars to Star Trek, comics to tech. Altered geek. Get altered. Get geeky. Altered geek. Pull up a chair cause you're an altered geek.
Hello and welcome to Altered Geek. I'm your host, Steve Megatron Phillips, and I'm actually recording this the day before I'm going to release it, and that's mostly because I've been sick as heck. I had some kind of a weird flu thing that went around. Pretty sure I caught it from a friend's kid, but I'm not entirely sure because my kid's been sick as well. But in the meantime, yeah, that was pretty horrific for that 2-day span. I'm still a little nasally, but I can at least speak without a dry throat. And, yep. So I've been working on a project for school. I've been working on some things behind the scenes for GCRN. My move to Texas may be in limbo as far as the move itself. Not entirely sure. So I'm kind of waiting to hear back on that. But yeah, I've got a ton of content that I'm going to cover, and I decided to break it up and do 2 episodes. One I'm going to release on Friday, and then I'm going to release the next one on Wednesday, and then I'm going to release on Fridays and Wednesdays for the foreseeable future. I'm not sure in what indication that I'm going to do guest hosts. I do have Birdman Dodd and TFG1 Mike on the upcoming episodes, just not the next 2. So just keep that in mind. I will be developing something in the near future for GCRN where there'll be some video content, there'll be some audio content, there'll be some merging of ideas and concepts, and I will be returning to the site later this year all of the archived retired shows. And for those that don't listen or haven't been introduced to some of those shows, like the original Tooncast, which are currently only available on like iTunes. I had to remove them from the site like a year or 2 ago because of back-end site issues. And so a lot of the old content had to go away, unfortunately, and it wasn't able to be hosted on the site, and the players didn't work because the files weren't on the back end, so I just removed them when I redid the site last year. So, like, the Beast Unleashed will be back, the Transformation Animation podcast will be back, TFG1 will be back, Secret Origins, Masked Mayhem, Beyond the Night, Toycast, a lot of the old retired content will be making a return. And when it returns, they will be going under subsidiary shows. And I used to have an archived tab for old content, and I figured this time around I'm going to do it a little bit differently. To maximize the exposure of some of the shows, they'll actually be, much like Geekcast Radio has La La Land Lounge, Mayhem Mics, and like GCR and Retro. GCR and Wars will be joining under that flag. There'll be a lot of changes. I'll end up making up, when I do make this ultimately happen, a blog post kind of outlining what is where and how it will be set up. I will be revamping pretty much all the podcast sections, the About section, the Contact, everything will be changed. I've got a lot of stuff planned out for this year. And if I'm not actually moving, I'll actually have a lot more time to do this. But time will tell on that. I'm not quite sure what's going on yet. I still have my job, so don't worry. That's not... I love my job. It's great. There's nothing wrong with that. So, without further ado, I'm going to take a quick break right here for the contact information, and we'll be back with the content of the show. You want to interact with the show? Well, you can get a hold of us in the following ways. You can email us, feedback@alteredgeek.com, or you can fill out the form on the website on alteredgeek.com. You can also get on the episode post on alteredgeek.com and make your comments there. You can, of course, get a hold of us on the social media, Facebook @AlteredGeek, or on Twitter @AlteredGeek. And, of course, you can find the show on the following locations. You can get it on iTunes, on Google Play, on Stitcher, and on TuneIn, Blog Talk Radio, as well as alteredgeek.com. And now, back to the show. So among some monumental changes going on this year with television, I thought it would be kind of nice to cover some things happening with TV shows, some things happening with cancellations, renewals, some movie news, and just kind of seeing where things go from there. So the last 4 episodes of SNL on this season will actually bring a very historic change according to Digital Trends. They will be having, for the first time in its 40-year history, live airings across the country. So there'll be no tape delays. In mid-April, and the final 4 episodes of the season will air live at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 Central, 9:30 Mountain Time, and 8:30 Pacific. So it's not a time change for Eastern time zones, but it's earlier for everyone else. So everyone will be watching at the same exact time. So NBC Entertainment Chairman Robert Greenblatt says that way everyone is in on the joke at the same time. And then they've decided for the remaining 4 hosts for the season, they're going to kick off the episodes with Chris Pine. Well, actually, they're going to kick off with SNL alumni and Tonight Show host Jimmy Fallon on April 15th, and followed by Chris Pine on May 6th, Melissa McCarthy on May 13th, and The Rock on May 20th. So, yeah, that's kind of a monumental change. It'll be kind of awesome to see. SNL since season 40 has, despite a lot of their particular political leanings, has actually been really good since season 40. But it's still entertaining. There's a lot of stuff I still don't watch in the show, but it's overall still pretty well. Another interesting thing that kind of popped up is Turner, Fox, and Viacom are teaming up for a new TV measurement system. And in case you're not fully aware, the current system is the Nielsen type stuff. It says the 3 major TV programmers have criticized legacy companies, like Nielsen and stuff, to attempt to accurately measure viewing across devices and platforms. So they've come up with a new plan. So it'd be dubbed OpenAP. It's Advanced Audience Platform, which would roll out in April with a media event planned for April 7th. The companies call it the first open platform for cross-publisher audience targeting and independent measurement. So like phones, recording, live TV, internet, everything. Which I'm kind of surprised that they really haven't taken advantage of this sooner. But according to some of the ones involved, it says while demand for audience targeting has grown significantly, adoption has been limited by the fact that audience buying is not as transparent, as consistent, and as easy as traditional guarantees. It doesn't need to be that complicated, and that changes today. So, yeah. I'm kind of wondering what they're going to do. It says the content currently reaches 93% of all TV audiences, and they're aiming to boost the number even higher if new members come aboard. But I'm kind of wondering what they're gonna do as far as that, and how they're gonna break down the ratings. But it'd be kind of interesting to see a new platform, because honestly, the Nielsen stuff, unless they send you a chip to plug into your TV, is like a buy box kind of thing. Or if you're through a cable company, they really have no. They send you this thing in the mail, and you fill it out, and it's like an honor system. So you could put whatever you want, if you wanted to. So most people, I've gotten them before. It's not I told the truth on them. I mean, you did the radio, you did the TV, and that's kind of all there was to it. But yeah, it'll be kind of interesting to see what they do in the future on this. And in other news of Netflix, soon your favorite Netflix shows might look different on your phone. It says if you live in the US or Canada, you probably primarily watch your favorite shows or movies on your TV, or at the very least on your laptop. But thanks to features like offline viewing and more generous mobile data plans, mobile usage has increased. So they've designed. This is how the challenge, however, is that nearly every TV show or movie you watch on Netflix was designed to be viewed on a larger screen, but that could change. It's not inconceivable that you can make a master copy and make a different cut for mobile, adding that it's something we will explore over the next few years. So they might be making smaller exports of the same stuff for phones specifically, which kind of would be nice, because then you could get actually a lot smaller file size and still get HD type quality. So I'm kind of down with that. I've been a big proponent of Netflix over the years. I've tried a lot of the other services. Hulu's second, but I still find Netflix to be the go-to, the best user interface, and as far as the shows. So switching gears a little bit, I try not to get too in depth with geeky news, because I know that it's very rampant. I can't help it though, because a lot of the stuff it's stuff I notice after, or while I'm just randomly digging through, and I'll see an article pop up and I'm like, oh, save it to my favorites. I actually have it broke down in an episode's favorites thing. So I have canceled renewal, TV questions, movies, games, tech, miscellaneous, Star Trek, Star Wars, and superheroes. So I have all these different categories of breakdowns of stuff. So I've done the TV part already, but getting into the I'm getting into the cancellations and renewals part of the show. But so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Nickelodeon has been canceled for season 6. And real quick, spoilers for anybody that has not watched the end of season 5. I will be delving into that information right now, and fast forward maybe 20-30 seconds. Splinter gets killed by Super Shredder. Super Shredder gets killed by Leonardo. So it pretty much ends with everything kind of kosher by the end of it. But the series as a whole is pretty good, and I'm sad to see it go. But the new reason why it's not moving forward to season 6 is because they've kind of covered a lot of the ground that TMNT 2003 and 87 covered. but they're going to be rebooting and replacing it with a series that's going to be 2D animated. So it's going to be hand-drawn again. Or in the very least, it'll be like... well, I'll read the rest of the information, but it's going to be called Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, with 26 first-season episodes debuting fall of 2018. Keeping the TMNT franchise alive, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles follows the band of brothers as they encounter new allies and villains and discover a magical world they never knew existed beneath the streets of New York City. So, yeah. The other thing I read, it wasn't on renewcanceltv.com, but is that the animation style is going to be very Samurai Jack-esque. So that could be interesting because you've got kind of this almost samurai type thing going on with the turtles anyhow. But I look forward to seeing what they do with it. The Turtles is one of those brands that easily can be rebooted and redone, kind of like Transformers. You have your key characters, but then, the plots can always change or be mutated differently. So... we'll see what happens with that.
Progressive presents Mindflowness with Flow.
Before you lies a beautiful meadow. In that meadow, Progressive Direct has placed its auto insurance rates alongside those of competitors. You select the lowest rate and feel a great sense of calm. A great sense of...
Compare Progressive Direct rates with competitors' rates so you can rest easy. Visit Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in most states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
So, The Big Bang Theory has been officially renewed for seasons 11 and 12 by CBS. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I'm sure they're dishing out a lot of money to the actors by now. I still like the show. I think that eventually, I think after season 12, I think they need to end it, but I think that they're kind of sending it to a natural progression to where all the characters went from like these awkwardly absurd, nerdy people to actually fully functional nerds. Kind of like us. They come out of that stereotype of how, it's nerdy, we have to follow this stereotype, and they've kind of gone away from the stereotype and are mutating into normal people. So it's nice to see them kind of do that. And DuckTales, before it's even hit season 1, before it's even aired, which it's supposed to air this summer, has already been renewed for season 2. So, yeah. And obviously, like, Girl Meets World season 4, latest news, Netflix turns away from the show, so we'll see if that ever gets picked up somewhere else. I don't think Amazon will take it or Hulu, but if anybody's going to take it, it might be the whatever they named ABC Family. Can't remember the name of it right now, but if they do, that's where they'll do it. And then also Prison Break may get a season 6 in 2018. Producers want another sequel. So if the revival is a hit, Walden says Fox is open to another season and none of the actors rule out returning for more. It says that it's a very satisfying ending. It gives fans what they always wanted. And they think there's always opportunity to do it again. So it's going to be a 9-episode season for season 5, which premieres April 4th on Fox. So be sure to watch that if you're a fan of Prison Break. I always found the writing to be really good and the acting to be really good. And it's actually continuing the brotherhood of Lincoln and Michael Burrows, who play Heatwave and Captain Cold on The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow. So they've basically gotten to work together from the initial 2005 of Prison Break through to its cancellation in 2009, and this revival, and The Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow, and so it's kind of nice because they have a nice chemistry, so they work really well together. So getting into the movie stuff, since this was a little bit interesting to me, Dr. Dolittle is about to get rebooted with Iron Man. Yes, Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing Dr. Dolittle. So he's going to be the third actor to walk into the role talking to animals after Eddie Murphy did it previously, and Rex Harrison, the original Dr. Dolittle, which was from the 60s. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see what this turns out to be, especially with the kind of snarky sarcasm that Downey Jr. portrays. It's going to be called the Voyage of Dr. Dolittle. So there's no release date, but I still think it's interesting that I like Robert Downey Jr. as an actor, so to me that's going to be kind of fun to watch. And Eddie Murphy dropped something on Twitter a little bit ago. Not sure exactly when, but they Slash Film caught a screenshot. If it's legit or not, I don't know. But it says the latest rumor to hit the movie news world is Eddie Murphy may be in the early stages of writing a sequel to his 1988 comedy hit Coming to America. Because Eddie Murphy supposedly posted an image of the Queen in Coming to America. It says Coming to America sequel? ? So I don't know. I like Eddie Murphy. I don't know if doing a sequel to that would be really good, but I mean, I guess if it's something he wants to do, it's always good seeing Eddie Murphy in shows. So I'd be fine with it. I wonder whatever happened to that Beverly Hills Cop 4. I don't know what ever happened to that. So I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit more. Yeah, it says the plot's unknown. It was updated in December of 2016. The other one cast is Eddie Murphy. My guess is because it was supposed to film in Detroit, and Bruckheimer was supposed to produce. My guess is nothing's going to come out of that. It's going to be a dead show. So, Skydance Media is planning a major Terminator announcement in 2017, but they're not saying what. And it's not going to be a continuation of Genesis continuity. My guess is they'll probably actually reboot it. The announcement says, I will say we have resolved the future of the Terminator franchise, and believe me, it's an incredible bright future. I think where it's going will be the continuation of what the fans really wanted since Terminator 2. We have something that year that we will be announcing for the franchise. It's something we're incredibly excited about, and we think it's the direction it needs to head. Yeah, I don't know. But if they don't do something, the rights will revert back to James Cameron, who intends to produce a movie in the series with Tim Miller directing. So I don't know if this is really the right direction. It's like a lot of sequels; they just don't pan out as well as they kind of portray themselves to be. So I'm gonna move into superheroes because the latest episodes of The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow have been actually really good. They're also teasing that in Season 4 of The Flash, no Speedster villain in Season 4, which is actually kind of refreshing because we've had it for the last 3 seasons. I've kind of felt that they need to do that anyway, but especially with doing Zoom and doing Savitar, they kind of... I don't know who would be more powerful. Like, I don't know if they had, would have, like, an entire, like, rogues gallery fighting him, but, I mean, now he's got pretty much his own Flash League, so, but I guess the episode for episode 19 was revealed to be the Once and Future Flash, which kind of reminds me of the Once and Future thing from Justice League Unlimited. So it says the basic plot will have Barry time traveling to the future to find out what he needs to know about how to defeat Savitar and stop Iris's death. They're also kind of teasing that the Abracadabra character that's going to be showing up in next week's episode of The Flash will be kind of teasing, hey, let me go, or if you want to know who Savitar really is. And I'm kind of wondering if you guys know who Savitar might be. I think it could be Julian. Could be. Don't actually think it is, though. Because remember, he did want powers. So, there's also... It could be a future Barry Allen. And although it wouldn't make much sense if he locked himself up. The other thing is it could be like a future Wally West. It could be HR. I don't know. Like there's a lot of... It could be just completely new character. I don't know who he's actually supposed to be. That's one of the nice things about not reading the comics is I get to kind of play along on a clean slate, kind of like I've gotten to do with the Marvel films, and learn the characters through the films or through the media. So, yeah, I'm kind of excited for that. And they're also saying that next year they're going to have huge crossover episodes, an actual 4-way crossover between Supergirl, Legends, Arrow, and The Flash. The Music Meister bit with the Flash and Supergirl crossover was actually really well done. And the twist they gave to Music Meister actually made him not as much of a douche as what I thought they were going to do. There's a lot that they're not saying as far as this episode anyway. Lena Luthor, series regular in season 3 of Supergirl. Man of Steel actor Michael Shannon is now the frontrunner to play Cable in Deadpool 2. I've also heard that in addition to him, Brad Pitt may be in the running. Patrick Stewart wants to make an appearance on Legion and possibly Deadpool 2. So, I'm excited for Deadpool 2, but it's going to be kind of hard to beat Logan. Which, funny enough, Marvel is returning Logan to the comics. They're not saying who yet, and I was unaware that they have they have X-Men Blue and X-Men Gold. But they're teasing and unveiling, and they've got the face and the claws blurred out, and he's wearing brown on these graphics, and it's supposed to be younger versions. So they're teasing a Clawed Hero's return, but they're concealing the identity. So it could either be the regular Logan Wolverine, or it could be Dakin, who I'm not very familiar with. But I guess they're saying that if it's Dakin, I guess he's got 2 claws. So, but yeah, they're not saying whether it's Wolverine freed from an adamantium cocoon or cloned anew or his son. It could be the Hulk Wolverine hybrid, like pre-Hulked out. So hard to say. Justice League trailer will land on Saturday. They've dropped a sneak peek at it and the new poster, which looks pretty sweet. Mark Guggenheim has concept art for next week's Legends of Tomorrow, which, if you haven't watched the Legion and Heatwave, who joins Captain Cold, gets the Spear of Destiny, and in the teaser, he's supposedly retracing basically regathering the legends to reverse what the Legion has done. And most of them work for, like, Damien Dark and, whatnot. But they have a Felicity in a purple hood with a techno mask and a wrist gadget. Looks pretty sweet. And it's for next week's Legends. So, kind of excited to see that. And it says, establishing shot from next week's Legends of Tomorrow. They have the Legion of Doom bubble ship. So that looks pretty sweet too. So yeah, that about rounds up all the stuff I have. So stay tuned to the next episode, and I'll have a lot more content. It'll be more Star Wars, Star Trek, tech-based content. But so until next time, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks.